MiniMax finally released the M3 model, and the biggest change is when it comes to the word attention. Yep, we've all heard just how important attention is when it comes to how transformers work, and the M3 model made a pretty big change from their previous M2 model in how this attention mechanism works underneath. When transformers were first introduced back in 2017, we relied on full attention mechanism using what's called multi-head attention, and this is what made transformers so expressive in their core ability to understand text. Back then, context windows were 500 to 1,000 tokens, and models were smaller than 1 billion parameters, so the cost of attention was next to nothing given the hardware available back then. Now, as the models became bigger, the context window also grew to over 100,000 tokens, which meant the original multi-head attention mechanism started to become the bottleneck because, well, you guessed it, attention. But why? Why is this attention such a big bottleneck? Most of us who use consumer-grade graphics cards, whenever a model like MiniMax M3 drops, the first question that we typically ask is how big is the model? Which is a fair question because if we want to run the model locally, it needs to fit in our janky setup in our basement in the first place. But fitting the model's weights into our graphics cards is just one side of the problem because inference is bottlenecked much more by how memory actually moves in the graphics cards. For example, when we look closer into our GPU and look at the hierarchy between HBM and SRAM, because SRAM is typically 10 to maybe 100 megabytes in size, most of our KV cache actually lives inside HBM. And this communication between HBM and SRAM is typically few terabytes per second, while performing computation from the SRAM is in the figures of petaflops per second. So you're looking at a difference of more than 300 times in bottleneck between how much data moves from HBM to SRAM and how fast computation can be done from SRAM. Now keep in mind that this isn't an apples to apples comparison, but it shows you how much headroom we have in compute before compute ever becomes the limiting factor as opposed to bandwidth. Now, because of these physical limitations in both how fast we can compute and how fast we can move memory around, there are ways that we can address this to be more efficient during inference. Here's a quick overview that I use to frame my thinking, so you can fully appreciate how the MiniMax M3 model actually optimized this entire process in how data moves around in the graphics cards more effectively. In order to optimize these limitations, you can first try to activate only portions of the model to reduce computation overhead. A good example of this is mixture of experts or MOE as opposed to a dense model. Another way is you can quantize a model's weights to reduce the data type complexity. Various reductions like FP8, FP4, or even quantizations like AWQ and GGUF. You can also reduce attention mechanism so that instead of letting every single token from looking at every other token, you can find a way to look at relevant ones only. Good examples of these are sparse attention, linear attention, NSA and DSA from DeepSeek. You can also try to reduce the KV cache sizing itself. Good examples are things like TurboQuant, or change the attention mechanism by grouping them, like the progression that we saw from the original MHA to GQA to MLA. You can also optimize on the kernel side on matrix multiplication and I/O. Good example being flash attention. Now that we have this as a mental model, while there might be some overlaps that I missed, it does give us a good framework to go ahead with. All of these items here more or less go back to the physical limitation that we mentioned earlier in how data moves from HBM to SRAM in bandwidth bottleneck and compute bottleneck as the context window grows well past 100,000 tokens. Now, Frontier Labs will typically do a mix of all of the above to try to make the model run more efficiently during inference. And in the case of MiniMax M3, they made a rather surprising change in attention mechanism, going from full attention to sparse attention, even though only 7 months before that, in the Reddit AMA, the head of LLM research seemed skittish about going away from full attention to sparse attention, given that efficient sparse attention wasn't production ready yet. But here we are, and the M3 model mixes in the GQA mechanism along with sparse attention and optimizes on the I/O side, by using tiles that group tokens and looping over the KV tile as the outer loop as it processes them sequentially. I know, there was a lot of technical jargon there, and I'm gonna try my best to break it down to the best of my ability as we see a huge shift in the AI industry, sampling from architectural decisions that MiniMax made on the model level and how that impacts us on the user in token cost, and also how that impacts the infrastructure on the inference side to serve the model to mass population, and the gradual shift that Chinese labs are making to Ascend chips. Okay, so a good way to frame your thinking before getting into details is that GQA helps reduce the KV cache footprint by letting multiple queries share the KV cache, which results in less memory having to flow from HBM to SRAM. And Sparse Attention helps us reduce the computation that's needed to calculate the attention score, since not every single token now looks at every other tokens, but it'll only look at the top K relevant tokens, which means you have only selective tokens flowing from HBM to SRAM. And the tile mechanism helps group tokens in, let's say, 100 tokens in one tile, so that you're not having to pull scattered KV cache in HBM, but instead you're reading a digestible chunk with the slight trade-off of having some noise, since some tokens within that group might not be relevant to the query. On top of that, MiniMax added I/O efficiency so that instead of having to read scattered tokens and also reading them back and forth, you can now just read tiles once continuously and then process all the queries that need that very tile, so you're only having to read tile by tile once to process all queries. That's what I meant when I said earlier the KV tile as the outer loop as it processes them sequentially. Pretty neat, right? Now this is more formally explained by this diagram that Skylar Meow released, which is like a back of the napkin diagram that explains how tiles, or blocks in their case, are built and scored to select the top K, and the GQA, which we discussed earlier about, uses the top K tiles to then further reduce the KV cache footprint. Now the technical paper still hasn't been released yet, but this is expected to drop really soon, so the actual implementation and architecture is still yet unknown, and we can make our best guess at what it might look like for now. But according to MiniMax's reports, they say that given 1 million contexts, the M3 per token compute is 1/20 in comparison to their previous generation model, which would be the M2 generation models. Incredible leap here. They also reached a speed up of 9.7 times in their pre-filling stage and more than 15.6 times in their decoding stage. And they did all of this while the MSA matched full attention on the vast majority of capabilities. Pretty impressive results from MiniMax team, and it shows the direction that AI industry is heading towards, at least by sampling from how DeepSeek and MiniMax are both heading towards the same direction, as token efficiency and inference efficiency and throughput seems to be the trend in the model layer. As we expect longer context window at the application layer and agentic use cases continue to grow, which puts downward pressure on the HBM memory space given how scarce they are, and how we manage that in inference at the infrastructure level is growingly becoming more and more important, and the architecture of the M3 model is definitely helping in how these models are served in the infrastructure. Now, since I don't look too heavily at benchmarks, here's a quick snapshot of MiniMax's report at various benchmarks that they reported if you're curious about them.